the late Chief Justice President. We grew up in an era of apartheid, but we were also surrounded by teachings of equality and freedom for all. We have a beautifully crafted constitution that seeks to protect everyone who lives in this country. We never thought we would see a refugee camp in this country, but now we have 3, not 1, but 3. I think as South Africans, we should be hanging our heads in shame. Because as Sister Saleha said, when we were fighting for freedom, South Africans were welcome in various countries in Africa. And not only were welcome, but other countries helped to make this country what it is today. So, in solidarity with all the organizations that are sitting here today, and everywhere else, all the South Africans that are calling, for an end to violence and for a dialogue to start happening, and also for a serious education campaign, because I think it's not just an economics issue. It comes with a lot of ignorance about who we are as a people, where we come from, who the person next to me is, what can I learn from them, and what can I teach from, what can I teach them? These are things that as a nation, these are the dialogues that we have not even started happening. We used to have very successful door-to-door campaigns, street committees that had Mhabulo sessions, which worked beautifully. I think it's time we relooked those types of educational vehicles as part of tackling the scourge of Afrophobia that we're seeing today. With that, I am going to move straight to the media statement. Thank you. Media statement by the African Solidarity Network and the Institute of Afrikology on the attacks carried out on African foreign nationals in Durban. Today is a rather sad day in the history of South Africa as we emerge from the embarrassing and recent tragic events where African foreign nationals were attacked and their properties stolen in various parts of the city. We have called this press conference as the African Solidarity Network, ASONET, together with the Institute of Afrikology, in order to make our voices known regarding the ongoing attacks on African foreign nationals in the city of eThekwini. ASONET is an organization that supports the social cohesion programs in South Africa, which are aimed at Africans. The Institute of Afrikology is an organization that promotes the studying of Africa in its totality and the promotion of African unity. As ASONET and the Institute of Afrikology, we would first like to express our deep sense of appreciation to the government of the Republic of South Africa for its role in deploying the necessary resources to deal with these attacks. In particular, we would like to express our appreciation for the leadership that has been provided by the President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Jacob Zuma, who directed that an interministerial committee be formed, which includes the city, province, and national governments. At the provincial level, we have also noted with gratitude the intervention of the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, the Honorable Mr. Sendon. As the situation escalated in the city center yesterday, Premier Mkhunu took personal responsibility and visited the hotspots to witness at first hand the unfolding chaos caused by the attacks on foreign nationals. Since 1994, there has been a number of attacks on African foreign nationals in South Africa, which were characterized by 2 major waves. The first major wave was around 2008 and was concentrated around Gauteng. At least 67 people died during this violence. Government's intervention was mainly coordinated by means of an interministerial committee, which faced a potentially embarrassing situation ahead of the 2010 World Cup. The situation started as a sporadic series of incidents and escalated in some of the most gruesome violence perpetrated in South Africa since the end of apartheid. Many of you will recall that this was only when the South African National Defence was called to enter the fray that the chaos eventually stopped. What is taking place currently in Durban started in the south of the city, in Umlazi and Isipingo, a mere 2 weeks ago. Today, it has gathered momentum and is now spreading to the north, including areas such as KwaMashu and Avoka. Just yesterday evening, the attacks had spread to the Verulam and Ottawa areas. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we saw the most dramatic of these attacks right in the city center of Durban, with a standoff between a crowd of between 2,000 and 4,000. They were baying for the blood of African nationals who they said should return to their countries of origin. Parts of the city looked like a war zone during skirmishes which included the looting of property belonging to African foreign nationals in the city. In dramatic scenes reminiscent of genocide in other parts of the world, men, women and children who are African foreign nationals were chased around the city like hunted animals. They had to stop doing business and hide inside their shops and neighboring apartments. Ladies and gentlemen, what is often missed is that the victims of these violent attacks, which often result in death, destruction, and destabilization, are men, women, and children, and in some cases, entire communities. The victims have been pelted with rocks, shot, shambled, hacked by pandas, and even burnt. For the victims, this is direly confusing and a serious situation where they move from a peaceful existence of hope and suddenly are struck by fear and trepidation every single day and night. Their lives are being destroyed systematically and life earnings stolen or destroyed. Again, we thank the government and particularly members of the South African Police and Metro Police for their intervention and quick reaction. This, no doubt, saved the lives of thousands of African foreign nationals who do business in the city. This was a true demonstration of the approach that President Zuma has stressed in this matter, which is that the first priority is to save lives. Every day, fearful women and children refugees are swelling the camps that have mushroomed around the city. Surely, this cannot be right. It is not right. What is unfolding is, as to be expected now, the subject of debate as to what it is and, more importantly, what is causing it. Our position is that we are less interested in what this violence is called. It is simply violence meted out on human beings by other human beings. The most worrying factor is that the targets of this violence are exclusively African foreign nationals. African foreign nationals in our country are like other migrants in South Africa for a number of reasons, which range from running away from persecution and political instability in their own countries to pursuing economic opportunities in South Africa. The question is, why is this happening? Who is behind it? Who stands to benefit from this violence? What is the end game? And how far are we from reaching the end state? We may have deemed the matter more urgent in 2008 because we were getting ready to host the African FIFA World Cup in 2010. It is now clear that as soon as the final match of the FIFA World Cup was played, we forgot that we had committed to a series of measures meant to deal with the underlying issues that had led to the outbreak. In its 2008 report on the SAHRC Human Rights Council investigation into the issues of rule of law, justice and impunity arising out of the 2008 public violence against non-nationals, the Consortium of Refugees and Migrants in South Africa, COMSA, noted the following, and I quote, "Widespread mass xenophobic violence in the aftermath of the FIFA World Cup appeared a credible threat. The document set out recommendations for the Interministerial Committee on measures necessary to address xenophobic violence in South Africa on an ongoing basis. most of which were supported by the South African Human Rights Commission. The recommendation included the following: publicly condemn all threats or outbreaks of xenophobic violence, strengthen the ability to detect and respond to threats or outbreaks of xenophobic violence, strengthen conflict resolution and prevention mechanisms at community level, strengthen access to justice for victims of xenophobic violence, strengthen disaster management systems and assistance to displaced persons, ensure an ongoing coordinated forum at a senior level for action on preventing social conflict and strengthening social cohesion, also conducting a public information campaign tackling myths and misperceptions about foreign nationals. In conclusion, Nelson Mandela's dream of a South Africa that is a destination of choice for the whole world now lies shattered and in splinters. It will take honest and brave and consistent leadership to halt this march of lawlessness and violence. We know that the majority of South Africans are not Afrophobic and are ashamed that these attacks are being carried out in their beautiful city and country. We therefore call on every good man and woman, right-thinking South Africans, to join African foreign nationals in defending the legacy of a free, democratic, non-racial, and non-xenophobic South Africa by actively condemning the senseless attacks. We also call on the government of President Zuma to do even more in its power to end this madness and shameful occurrences. It is madness that, unless checked, will, with immediate effect, may escalate to even more tragic consequences. At international level, this wave of violence has already tarnished the image of South Africa, and all of us must now work harder to end the violence.